Welcome back to another episode of the Liverpool Connection Pub Chat. Obviously, we're not in the pub. It's still brekkie time over here. But the OGs are in the house. Daza and El Presidente are back together again, doing a pub chat and talking about this weekend's fixtures with Aston Villa coming to Anfield for the very last home game of the season. And a lot to talk about, Daza. How are you doing?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, shame we aren't down the pub though. I could do with a pint right now, even though it's 10:30 in the morning. But yeah, good. Looking forward to Saturday. It'll be bittersweet though with Bobby, Milner, Ox, and even Keita. He's the least one that I'm concerned about. But
Right.
For Bobby and Millie, like it's I don't think there'll be a dry eye in that stadium.
Yeah, before we get into saying our proper goodbyes to a couple of legends there with the club, but all four of them were really part of our trophies that we've earned in the last few years. But so setting up the game, Liverpool 5th place, 1 point behind United and Newcastle. With Newcastle playing an important game today against Brighton. So by the time this goes out, we'll know what's going on for the weekend, where we need to be in regard to Newcastle. But we're 5th place. Villa comes in at 8th place. Last time we played them, I think Gerrard was still was he the, I don't know if he was still manager then after the World Cup, but we beat them 3-1 there at Villa Park. And so different situation now. For both teams, really, because Unai Emery has them really playing some decent football. So, what's your thoughts about the lineup this weekend? More of the same of what we've been seeing with Jones playing again?
Yeah, I don't think Klopp's going to change that team. I mean, why?
Right.
We won 7 on the bounce with near enough the same team. So just keep it 100%.
I know out there in the social media world, there's a lot of room for sentimentality, right? Having Bobby start and play in his last game and then come off but these games are important. He's not 100% fit. No really time for sentimentality. And Klopp has never been like that way anyway. 3 points is still a must at this juncture. And so I don't see him, just for the sake of it, starting Bobby and knowing that you have to sub him because he's not 100%.
Yeah, you can't start Bobby. I mean, if we're 2-3-0 up after 20 minutes, well, the way this season's gone, I would wait till probably like the 80th minute, being 3-0 up, and then bring Bobby on for his swan song, and then let him do a no-look pass or a goal. But yeah, you got to put sentiment aside and get these 3 points no matter what. And like the team has been playing really, really well. Villa are no pushovers. They're wanting to get in Europe as well. So, their key men obviously will be Ramsey and Ollie Watkins. So, we just got to ride this storm out, get 2 more wins to make it now 9 on the bounce and, see where we're at in the league table. Huh?
It's funny. I went and reviewed the lineups that we had for the last game. We actually had Ox and Keita both start, and that has to be a rarity in itself, right? That those two are in the squad at the same time for all the games that they've missed.
Must have been desperate, yeah.
Right. And, well, speaking of desperation, who comes in? Bagzetic comes in near the end. He scores his first goal for Liverpool, right? Become the second youngest Spanish player in the Premier League to score. And then you have Ben Dope comes in that game. So desperate times. Not a lot of stuff coming off the bench at that point in the season. So, but now coming into this game, we do have options off the bench. With Jota. Looks like Nunez still has that big toe injury, so don't know if he's going to feature at all. He was such a nuisance the last time we played him, but no need to risk when you still have Jota and Gapco can play the front line there.
Yeah, Nunez will be on the sidelines learning Scouse. So, hopefully next season he'll be able to kick on. But yeah, why risk it? We have Jota and we have Bobby. So I think we're fine on the forward line. But yeah, looking forward to it. Just get the job done. I wish we had about 4 or 5 more matches to
You're
play.
right. Yeah.
Because me heart says we'll make top 4,
Mhm.
but my brain is saying no. But
Right.
again, like you said at the beginning of the episode, it all depends kind of like how today goes, and the weekend as well.
Mhm.
But the big match is the Brighton Newcastle today, so
Mhm.
see how that goes, and we might be. I mean, the crowd's going to be up for it anyway.
Right.
Last home match of the season, Bobby, Milner, Ox, they're leaving like
Mhm.
party, but yeah, I see us going hell bent.
Reminiscent about from 2 years ago, right, when we were chasing the top 4, we ended up being third that season. I think a lot of people forget. And so this kind of sets up in a similar fashion that we could, with results, get to third if because Newcastle's really never been in this position. Man United aren't a good team, and so anything can happen. They still have 3 games to play, and we have 2. So it's still a lot of. I think there will be some points dropped by somebody in those 3. But like you said, it's going to be such a party atmosphere, a Saturday kickoff, knowing that Bobby, I mean, everybody saw the reception he got on the road. So can you imagine what the singing is going to be like at home? I'm already getting goosebumps just thinking about that.
90 minutes singing the Bobby song.
Mhm.
Wouldn't that be something? But
Yeah.
there's still some twists and turns. I mean,
Mhm.
obviously we've got to do our job. We've got to beat Villa on Saturday.
Mhm.
But I
Right.
still think, even though Chelsea have been absolutely crap, Poch is going to be their new manager, and
Mhm.
he's going to probably be watching them.
Mhm.
And these lads know that they've got to put in a performance if they want to keep their jobs.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I think Chelsea will have something to say because,
Mhm.
against United and against Newcastle as well. So
Right.
fingers crossed. I find it very funny as, we live in this Twitterverse of just, shoving things down people's throats, not having a very nice conversations
Mhm.
and stuff. But, people going, we don't deserve top 4. And I'm like, well, if we win our remaining games, why wouldn't we deserve top 4 if the other teams falter? That's not our problem.
Yeah.
I,
There's always people that hate Liverpool no matter what, right? So
even so-called Liverpool fans hate
right,
Liverpool.
right. And speaking of hate, let's I mean, kind of, you know, what's your prediction of the game, the final score, and then we'll move on
Well,
to something.
I don't do predictions. So
Okay, that's right. So I'm gonna go.
yeah,
I think I've put out 2-0 out on my Facebook page. So
I'll
two
go with a
zero,
win.
yeah,
I
obviously.
just
But I think that the Reds are playing well. We're creating chances. The defense seems to have sorted things out, and then we still have Alice in the back line, who's been so immense. Showed it the last game again, and
my player of the season.
yeah, I don't know if there's even a. I mean, Salah's is a second, but I don't know if it's really that close. If you look at it, how many games Allison has won for us or saved points for us over the year. And so mine's 2-0. Let's go Reds, get your 8th win on the bounce. Now let's go to some news that broke this morning. We talk about hatred of Liverpool from a lot of people. The league suspending Klopp for 2 games, right? For his sideline antics. It just I don't know about it. It just sucks because when you ref a game, we're always told to call things in the spirit of the game, right? To suspend him, knowing that Milner, Bobby, 2 other key players from these trophy seasons are playing their last home game, and then they suspend them for that. During that, they could have waited till the next season to start the next season with 2-game suspension. But so just another thing that creates this animosity towards the decision makers at the Premier League.
It's just another one of those, isn't it? It's like, stick the knife in a bit deeper. The FA know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
My thing, I had a chat yesterday. you know, they do this with Klopp, yet Ivan Toney, who has over 200 betting allegations against him. This was materialized in January, and the FA have done absolutely nothing until now. And then he gets suspended until January. But then how many months in the summer where he doesn't play anyway?
Yeah. Well, you know, it really was started with Tony. It started even before the World Cup, right? That's the reason a lot of people thought he was, you know, not included, because he was on form prior to that. And so the way the FA runs their business, obviously we could talk about how they treat Man City and the kind of like blinders that they have for them, just, you know, doing suspended probation stuff and fining and allowing them to just clog up the court system, you know, and not get punished while they continue to, you know, cheat financial fair play. So but for all those people out there that think that, you know, Liverpool gets the benefit of the doubt, it just kind of, it really shows you that there is a bias against Liverpool in a lot of areas when it comes to that thing.
What's the point of suspending, having 2 games suspension, but then just doing 1 this season and then 1 next season? I mean, if you're going to do 2, so he doesn't get the Villa or Southampton game.
Right.
They're just trying to prove this silly point, and yeah, like I said, they know exactly what they're doing. They're trying to piss him off, and they have pissed us off.
Right.
But the good thing is he can be in the stadium, so after the game he can come down. So, you know, but yeah, it is sad that he won't be on the touchline, you know, and when Bobby does get introduced, he won't be down there. But you know, you get on with it. What else can you do? You know, grown, but obviously what's done is done. So you just move on. I mean, Klopp will know better than himself to understand, like, he shouldn't have done what he did.
Right.
He came out and said he shouldn't have done it. But you know, how many managers do the same thing week in, week out? And, you know, I think it's just because Klopp is very verbal, especially towards Paul Tierney and you know, some of the others. So yeah, it's just, you know, it's one of those, but you get on with it. Klopp will be, you know, same thing. There's nothing you can do.
Right. So switching subjects now, we know this last home game for Milner, Bobby, Keita, you know, Ox, obviously all of those won't be in the lineup at all. But, you know, I was kind of having a conversation yesterday on Twitter. We're calling Bobby a legend. He is a legend. But then kind of saying, you know, Milner was just like a servant, right? A good servant. I'm like, oh, he's a legend too. You know, he has been such a great free transfer, coming to, you know, taking a pay cut, changing positions, you know, minimizing his playing time to be part of the Liverpool project when Klopp came in and being added to the team and being the vice captain. You know, whether you're on the pitch or not, most of us don't realize what's going on behind the scenes, you know, how to keep a team together. You know, anyone that's played sports at a high level knows that team chemistry is very key to success, you know. And so I would just didn't want to minimize his contribution over the years as just call him a servant. He's really sacrificed a lot for this team, and he's excelled in multiple positions: midfield, right back, left back. So
yeah, I mean, I'm sure all the younger fellas look up to him in training. You know, he wins that test every single year, and you know, he believes that he still has some football legs left in it, and that's why, you know, he's probably moving to Brighton. And fair play to him. You know, hopefully he comes back to be part of the coaching team after he finishes. But yeah, he's a legend to me. He's the best free transfer Liverpool have ever had. He's just been an amazing player on and off the pitch, and you know, all applaudits go to Bobby because he's Bobby Dazzler. You know, look passes and the incredibly white teeth. You know, the different hairstyles. He's just Bobby. So obviously everybody kind of goes to Bobby. Well, you've got Milner, boring James Milner, as he
Mhm.
says himself, drinks tea, has his Ribena, cuts grass to a perfect inch, you
Mhm.
know. So, but yeah, we'll miss him.
Mhm.
But it's time. It's time for them to move on as well.
Yeah.
Because I believe Hendo will have less and less playing time next season.
Mhm.
He'll probably start taking up the Milner role,
Right.
where he'll come on late in games to finish,
Mhm.
the games out and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, Bobby and Millie, like, hats off to him. Like,
Mhm.
I cannot wait to see the end of the match, with the 3 points,
Mhm.
and just see them walk in the pitch and get the adulation they deserve.
Right. We do have our times where we kind of slate the sick notes, right? Austin Keita, but they were a contributing force. There'd always be a red, you know, they were part of the trophy seasons. You kind of feel for Ox because he came here was so promising, and he was the typical midfielder that Klopp wanted, and then tearing that ACL, and he's never really recovered from that. And Keita's just
Well,
he's just not sturdy enough for the Premier League, and that's just the bottom line, right? So
yeah, well, I mean, before the injury against Roma, he
mhm.
was playing really well, and he scored some cracking goals. Keita has just been Blair, he just hasn't, like, lived up to the hype.
Mhm.
Klopp waited for him,
Mhm.
and we got him, and there was high hopes, and it just didn't materialize. And I don't know whether it's just Klopp's training
Mhm.
that's the problem with Keita, with the injuries, or the Premier League is just too tough for him. But
Mhm.
he needs to probably go back to Germany, I would think,
Mhm.
or Italian league. But yeah, I mean, I don't really like slating players and saying, good riddance. But I
Mhm.
mean, for Keita, it just lasted too long
Mhm.
when he
Yeah.
should have gone last summer.
Well, he gets hurt every transfer window, right? So he can't. No
Well, I
one
mean,
will
no,
buy him.
rolling
Yeah.
him on the pit, either rolling him physically or
Right.
just, in a wheelchair, just something, so he
But
doesn't get hurt.
but it's also a cautionary tale as we head into the transfer windows that big money transfers don't always work. We've gotten majority of the transfers correct under Klopp, but they don't always work. These are actual humans that play, and it's a rough game in the Premier League. So you don't know when you pay all that money, or even somebody that comes in on a free. You never know if they're going to be able to integrate into the Premier League, into Klopp's system, and that's just ends up being one of the ones that didn't work out. Fortunately, most have worked out, right? So
Yeah,
under Klopp, and we do wish them well, not when they play against Liverpool, but
I'll hold the door for him. Yeah, well, he'd probably
right.
bang into the door, but it's not our problem anymore, though, is it?
He'll push when you're supposed to pull, and you know
Well, we've all had that problem, haven't we?
that's right. That's right. So all right, 2-0 on the weekend. We're hoping for a Seagulls win today or over the Geordies, and we want to say thank you guys all for subscribing and checking out our pub chats and our story podcast. Without you guys, we really couldn't grow our channel. So please continue to tell your friends, subscribe, like, set your notifications, and we appreciate you checking us out. Daza?
That, what you just said. If you haven't checked out the Jan Mulby one
Mhm.
episode, please do. It's our 3-year anniversary podcast. Absolute, again, absolute legend. One of the best passes of the ball I've ever seen,
Mhm.
like, live. And such a nice fella. So
Mhm.
yeah, please go check that out, and like and subscribe, and we appreciate everyone listening.
All right. Cheers, everyone.